stop paying property gurus for this advice. I'm going to give it to you for free. Guys, if you knew me from before, you will know that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to property investment. I'm just retired at home now, so I'm doing this and I'm giving this away for free. So you don't have to pay people that are going to sell you courses or books or anything. Just keep following me. You get a bit of mishmash along the way, but you know, that's what you're going to have to accept. So let me just clip this into me. Ah. Yeah, that'll do. I do know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm doing. Okay, look, let's do this, right? Okay. BRRR, right? So you buy a property, then you refurbish the property, and then you rent it out, and then you refinance it. Don't worry about that handwriting, yeah? Refinance, that's what I mean. Yeah, 1 second. Like, that's the rule, and that's what you have to do. And then what they say is this is the way to make money out of property. And you know what? They're right, actually, because if you buy a house to rent out and wait for capital appreciation, you've got all sorts of other headaches that come with it now, like the taxes, like the regulation, like what you can and can't do anymore, like Airbnb has become even more complex. So yes, the way to make money out of property is this. However, finding a needle in a haystack? No. What you're going to have to do is go and get acquainted with the estate agents. Find yourself good quality houses. Generally, it's the probates. Now, what I will say to you is, see this? Is it going to make you rich? Well, let me just show you something. Ba-boom. So you bought your house. Boom. You've put in, let's say you purchase. Now, this is where the tricky part comes in, because when you take a mortgage, it depends on the condition of the house. So it can't be in dire straits, or they're not going to lend, or you're going to have to take bridging. And bridging, dangerous, risky. Be very, very careful. Let's say you've got a bit of deposit on your side and you buy it on a residential basis without the intention of renting it out to start with, but later you might just do it if the project goes well. Let's just say, right, that's just another conversation. So you buy this house. How are you going to buy it? That's the thing. If it's in poor condition, the only way to buy it is going to be a bridge, or you're going to have to take it in residential, because if you do a buy to let, they won't give you a mortgage on it because the condition of the house is inadequate to be rented out and it has to have a certain EPC rating. So that's one of the complications they don't tell you about when they go buy, refurbish, rent, refinance, you'll make money. So let's just say you bought a house to live in and you decided it was in a poor state, it was a probate, you put in, let's go 10%, and the value of that house was 200K, and you got a 90% loan on it, and you start paying your mortgage, and now this thing here needs to be refurbished. Now, building costs, depending on what you do, you might convert a room into another bedroom, so your 2-bed becomes a 3-bed. You might stick an extension on it, expand it downstairs, upstairs, go into the loft. If there's a decent pitch, you won't need to put dormers, that kind of thing. Anything that you can do to it that will enhance its value is what you're looking to try and do. So let's just say it's a decoration situation and you're buying it undervalued because it needs a new kitchen, bathroom, plastering, carpets, decor, aesthetics. And your value once the property is done is worth, be realistic here. Let's be realistic, 280 grand. So you go, oh my God, I bought the house for 200 and I sold it for 280,000. I'm getting so excited because these people that I bought the course off were so right that I'm going to make money out of it. Can you tell I'm in one of those moods? So now we've made £80,000, but what did we spend? Let's forget about the usual purchasing because that's standard. You're going to have that anyway. So capital expense at the beginning comes out your profit at the end. But Refurbish cost is not as cheap as it used to be. Neither is the labor. So if you can do it yourself, that's where you're going to make the money. Lots of it. Don't be shy. You can do it. You can B&Q it. And you can YouTube it. So you can do it yourself. You might have to get the specialists in for certain areas, but as long as you do a lot of it yourself, you'll be fine. I reckon a standard refurb these days, decor, kitchen, carpets, cosmetics, gardening, potentially windows as well. Let's allocate your 30K on that. I reckon it could be done. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys, right? 30 grand, worst case, maybe less. Don't know about a bit more, but I reckon we can do this in 30G. That gives you then what? 50 grand profit? I think that's not bad, don't you? Right? Now you refinance it. This is where the tricky bit comes in, because now if you're going to refinance it, you're going to refinance it because now you change your mind. You don't want to live in it. You're going to rent it. So now let's talk about that bit. Hold it. Refinance. Your new pad is worth 280,000. Sorry, your new pad is worth £280,000. You're going to have to leave 25% in it at least, right? That 75% is going to be your buy-to-let mortgage. So let's do the maths on this because I haven't got a calculator. What's a quarter of 28? 7, right? So 70K. Oh, that worked out all right, didn't it? I can do the maths on that. 7.21, so 210,000 is your loan. Now we're going to times that by a typical 5, maybe even 6% interest. This is going to be a buy-to-let calculation. So this is where the tricky part comes in. So don't forget, you borrowed 200K and you put 10% in. So you've already got 180,000 loan on this house. So this is the bit that interests you the most, is in achieving that 210, because then the 210 and 180, you're looking at 20, 30. You're looking at getting 30,000 out to fund your next project. And it is possible, and it is also possible that when you rent this out, listen, little loophole. If you take a mortgage out and you take it in your personal name, but later you decided to rent it out, refinancing isn't going to be as straightforward because you're not going to be able to pull it out because you've got tenant in there, right? So you're going to have to do a buy-to-let. So that residential mortgage that you take in your personal name may come with an exit charge that you have to pay, or you take a product that has no exit charge, and then, you're fine. The way to keep building on these houses is if you have got some money yourself. But if you haven't and you want to do this, then it's going to be switched. The best way to do it is then to switch it. Because obviously your intention to buy the house was to buy it, live in it, do it up and live in it. But now you changed your mind, you want to rent it out. You can then switch it to a buy-to-let. It's not a problem. Lenders don't mind that. But you have to pay your exit cost, and that'll eat into your profit. But it doesn't mean that you then don't just go off and buy yourself another residential house, do you really? And do the same again. Obviously, it's all about intention. And no dishonesty. Be honest all the way through. Does that make sense? Yeah. If you want me to do a webinar together on this, then pop it in the comments below and I'll organise it. I will charge you for that though, because that's going to be taking my time out and sitting talking to you on a group basis about this topic. But if you want that, put it below and I will organise a webinar for like an hour and we can talk about this. Yeah? Take care.